Hello everyone, my name is Elijah David, minister of the 12th hour Apostolic Secretary Congregation on the 12th hour. In the Liberty Hill, Texas, today is July 6, 2013, or the 28th day of the 4th month, 2017. We'll start our second service on this Sabbath day with a song entitled, The Way That He Loves. The way that He loves is as fair as the day that blesses my reign with light. The way that He loves is as soft as the breeze caressing the trees at night. So tender and precious is He, contented with Yahweh be. The way that He loves is so thrillingly tall, His love reaches even me. The way that He loves is as deep as the sea, His Spirit shall be my stay. The way that He loves is as pure as a rose, much sweeter He grows each day. His peace covers like a dove, I know there's a heaven above. The way that He's clean, love's a wonderful thing, because of the way He loves. Hello everyone, once again this is Elijah David. We're going to continue now, but we're going to start back at the beginning of the book, The World Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow by the V.T. Hart, The Shepherd's Rod. And the Davidian Seventh-day Adventists, technically and more to the point of the name, true name, is Davidian Seventh-day Adventist, meaning that the tribe of Judah now has come and identifying with the 10 tribes, the Seventh-day Adventists, through the Shepherd's Rod, the House of David, 1930. Adventists should be very thankful that we have also a more sure word of prophecy, that you do what you take heed, as until light that shineth in a dark place until the day dawn, and the day star arise in our hearts. True Christians will be thankful for prophecies and prophets that Yahweh raises up to light up and guide the future. This is what we're having today. We're reading from V.T. Hart, the second prophet chosen to succeed Ellen G. White in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, to carry the torch on the second step. In other words, the second leg of the journey. Okay, so this is what V.T. Hart did, and the Davidian Seventh-day Adventists actually got in and studied his writings with an open mind and a prayerful heart, asking for the inspiration to shine upon the truth. They would discover momentous things in his writing, for he truly published the latter rain of truth in writing, laid it down and put it on record. Ellen G. White had the former rain of truth, and she published it over a 70-year period. V.T. Hart published his over a 25-year period, or about a 25 years. So now, we're going to defer to a prayer thought taken from Joel chapter 2. which is the latter-day prophecy, and it applies to this time, to this 12th parabolic hour that we're in. Blow you the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain, that all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Yahshua, the Son, cometh, for it is nigh at hand. A day of the darkness and of the gloominess, a day of the clouds and of the thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. Okay, it says, a great people and a strong. There hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even unto the years of many generations. For a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them as a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. For the appearance of them is as the appearance of the horses. Okay, now horses are leaders. Okay, they're the ones that pull the church. Okay, and the church is the one that's got passengers in it, the laity, the members of the congregation. And as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of the chariots on the tops of the mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of the fire that devoureth the stubble. As a strong people sit in the battle array, before their face the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like the mighty men, they shall climb the wall like the men of war, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another, they shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city, they shall run upon the wall, they shall climb up upon the houses, they shall enter in at the windows like a thief, for the earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Yahshua, this is the King of kings, the sovereign of sovereigns, shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong that executes his word. For the day of the Yahshua is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Therefore, also now, saith the Yahweh, turn ye even unto me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning. And rend your heart and not your garments, and turn unto the Yahweh your Elohim, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of the great kindness, and repenteth him of the evil. Who knoweth if he will return and repent, and leave a blessing behind him, even a meat offering, and a drink offering unto the Yahweh your Elohim? Blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify a fast, call a solemn assembly. Gather the people, sanctify the congregation. Assemble the elders, gather the children, and those that suck the breath. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber, and the bride out of her closet. So we got to sanctify the congregation here. Let the priests, the ministers of the Yahweh, weep between the porch and the altar. And let them say, spare thy people, O Yahweh, and give not thine heritage unto reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. Wherefore should they say among the people, where is their Elohim? Then will the Yahweh be gracious or jealous for his land, and pity his people. Yea, the Yahshua will answer and say unto his people, behold, I will send you corn and wine and oil, and you shall be satisfied therewith. and I will no more make you a reproach among the heathen. But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savour shall come up, because he hath done great things. Fear not, O land, be glad and rejoice, for the Yahweh will do a great thing. Okay, let's continue on verse 22, Joel chapter 2. It says, Be not afraid, ye beasts of the field, for the pastures of the wilderness do spring, for the tree beareth her fruit, the fig tree and the vine do yield their strength. Be glad then, you children of Zion, and rejoice in the Yahweh your Elohim, for he hath given you the former rain moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain, and the latter rain in the first month. And the floor shall be full of wheat, and the fat shall overflow with the wine and oil. And I will restore unto you the years that the locust hath eaten, the cankerworm, and the caterpillar, and the palmer worm, my great army which I sent among you. And ye shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Yahweh your Elohim, that hath dealt wondrously with you, and my people shall never be ashamed. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of the Israel, and that I am the Yahweh your Elohim, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed. And it shall come to pass afterwards that I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Yahweh come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Yahweh shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be delivered, as the Yahweh has said, and in the remnant whom the Yahshua shall call. Now your key right here is deliverance. It says for in Mount Zion, this is who we represent. Mount Zion, the 12th hour, the house of David, the tribe of Judah, the lawgiver. This is where Yahshua inherits his people, the whole 12 tribes of Israel. 144,000 will come forth, representing a remnant of each tribe that started with Jacob and his 12 sons, and those Israelites that entered into the land of Israel. The 144,000 represents a purified remnant of all, representing all the Israelites clear back to the time that they came out of Egypt. It's taken 3,500 years for the Yahweh to wrought his first deliverance with Yahshua leading the way for Israel and Moses working together. And about 1500 BC is when that event took place, that first Exodus. 3,500 years from the first deliverance out of the bondage of sin and the bondage of Egypt, which represents the world. The Assyrian, in other words. Now, we have a prophecy that says, right there in Isaiah 11, verse 16. We might hurriedly turn to it and read that. This is also talking about the same thing, about deliverance, a second time, a second Exodus. And as I was saying, Isaiah 11:16, it says, And there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that he came out of the land of Egypt. Now folks, we have inspiration working here. Okay. Well, where is this highway? This highway, has it already appeared? Has this highway already appeared on the scene for the second Exodus? I believe it has. I believe that, let's read verse 15 of Isaiah 11. And the Yahweh shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea. This is Assyria. This is Babylon. This is the wicked out there in the world's the nations of the world. And it's cold, and our people, Israel, is out there in Egypt, spiritual Egypt, among the nations of the world as well. So, the highway has already started. You find it in the prophecies. It starts right here when the Adventist Church was raised up in 1844. And the first vision that Ellen G. White had was concerning the 144,000 are channeled through this movement. And she says also that she was shown that we are the spiritual Israel of today, and that we're beginning our trek out of Egypt a second time. So when was this highway born today? That Isaiah saw in 11:16? It was born in 1844. Now how long we've been on that highway? About 170 years. A highway. High and cast up way. Okay. That highway is channeled through the Seventh-day Adventist movement. That highway is channeled through those 3 feeding pastures. Bashan, the first one for the Adventist. The second one, Carmel. The Davidian Seventh-day Adventist, Shepherd Rod, B.T. Harder, the second prophet. And the third channel was the third feeding pasture, Gilead Center, starting in 1970 at Kermit, Texas. So this highway that began in 1844 with that little Advent band. And technically that highway began with William Miller, the first-day Adventist, angel of the Philadelphian church, the 6th church, the one right before Laodicea. And he started in 1833, and he had the 2300-day prophecy that he was conjointly connected with the Adventist movement, the 6th and the 9th hour. William Miller and Ellen G. White connected up with the 3 angels' messages. William Miller actually, by being on time with the 2300-day prophecy announcement in 1833, showed where this highway began. Began with William Miller, first-day Advent. Okay, and then the next checkpoint along that highway was the Seventh-day Advent. The next checkpoint along that highway was the Shepherd Rod, 1930. The third checkpoint along that highway was Gilead Center, Kermit, Texas, third feeding pasture. And the fourth checkpoint along that highway was in 2002 at Kermit, Texas, with that third feeding pasture coming to a close, closing out the 3 feeding pastures, and also closing out that highway for the Adventists. The highway run out. When they run out of the extra oil that propelled them through those 3 feeding pastures, and whenever they refused to take any more extra oil at the end of that third feeding pasture, Gilead Center, they came to their end. Fulfilling Sister White's prophecy in Volume 3 of her testimony, 266, 267, she says the closing work for the Adventist Church is the sealing of the 144,000. Read Ezekiel 9 for this sealing. That met its fulfillment in 2002 at Chandler, Texas. By the Passover 2003, the guard had already been changed. The grizzled horse was cut loose, and the bay horses staying connected to the chariot Leopard now is free to unfold these prophecies. And these bay horses can't go anywhere with that chariot until the prophecies unfold on them to tell them their next destination that they are to go and what they're supposed to do. Why should they just take what they have already learned in the past and go and start running to and fro through the earth trying to give that information? No. They have prepared themselves to go at an appointed time. So that's where we're at. We're told to move on from Kermit in 2003 at the Passover. And actually, it was at the second Passover of 2003 that we were thrust out of that Gilead Center, that third feeding pasture for the Seventh-day Adventist, closing out the judgment of the dead, starting the judgment of the living, and continuing on to this highway. Now this highway takes us all the way back to the hill country of Judea here in the Austin, Texas area, Liberty Hill, Texas. We are in a paradise atmosphere. Yahweh has blessed us tremendously the last 10 years with opening up a lot of new light and causing me to understand and have full confidence that heaven is guiding, and especially heaven appointed me with this awesome message of the Elijah today. This message that, when it's published properly, will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and children of the fathers, lest he come and smite the earth with a curse. Okay, let us continue on now with that thought in mind. 3 feeding pastures for the Adventists, the 3 steps of the genuine movement. This highway there mentioned in Isaiah 11:16 says there's going to be a highway again opened up for the remnant of my people. And this is going to bring their deliverance from all over the world. Now, you know, Yahweh works in mysterious ways, and he says in Jeremiah 33:3, he says, "Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things thou knowest not." So, with that in mind, let's go and start our main study on the world yesterday, today, and tomorrow by the Vicky. And he wrote this tract in 1941. And he says, as we are living in a time in which we can expect anything, but be sure of nothing, therefore all, including alike statesmen, diplomats, and militarists, will doubtless be surprised in just what will emerge from the present European conflict. At this moment, 1941, Hitler's dread legions are continuing their inexorable drive upon the world's mistress of the seas, and so far nothing has been able to withstand the fury of their onslaught, with the result that Europe stands in the terrified amazement, and the whole world is alarmed, in the alarmed wonderment at what is ahead, willing as was Nebuchadnezzar in his day to give almost anything to know, but Elohim alone knows the future. For the wise men of the day can no more tell the future than could the wise men of the prophets Daniel's time, as found in Daniel 2. If you think this an extravagant statement, then meet the challenge. Produce your cause, saith the Yahweh. Bring forth your strong reasons, saith the King of Jacob. Let them bring them forth, and show us what shall happen. Let them show the former things, what they be, that we may consider them, and know the latter end of them, or declare us things for to come. show things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that ye are gods, that you are deities. Isaiah 41, 21 to 23. That's a prophecy here in Isaiah 41. For the one who foretold the rise and fall of Babylon and of the nations succeeding it is the only one who knows what will be the outcome of the present distress of the nations. Luke 21:25. For light, then, on this momentous question, now uppermost in every rational mind, we turn unto Elohim of the prophets, who bids us look unto the writings of his ancient seers. There are all the world events that concern his sons, Isaiah 45:11, are foretold in the pictorial mode. For the world's history in the prophecy is recorded first in the literal terms, second in the parabolical terms, and third in the typical terms, and fourth in the pictorial terms. For the sake of the brevity and in the interest of the facilitating comprehension, precluding the possibility of the sidetracking, the silent messenger presents its message in the pictorial mode. For the kingdoms that have gone down, the kingdoms that still exist, and the kingdoms that are yet to come, whose legislation involved Elohim's people, have been pictorially chronicled by both Daniel and John the Revelator. Now, in the order that even the most skeptical and unbelieving mind be persuaded, the subject matter of this tract is introduced with the symbolism whose prophetic import has already become history. A lion, a bear, a leopard, and a nondescript beast. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by the night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given unto it. And behold, another beast, a second like unto a bear, and it raised up itself on the one side, and it had three ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. Okay, after this I beheld another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it four wings of a fowl. The beast had also four heads, and dominion was given unto it. Now we're talking about these here. The lion representing Nebuchadnezzar, Cyrus and Darius, the Medes and the Persians by the bear, and the leopard like with the four heads, the bear with the three ribs in his mouth, the lion with the two wings, 2, 3, 4 wings, 4, and then when we get to this number 4th beast, we have 10 horns here, meaning universal, meaning involving all the nations of the world that he's in charge of. Now, it said, Daniel spake and said, okay, now, it says, after this I beheld another like a leopard, which had upon its back of it four wings of fowl. Okay, I've done read that. After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast. Now this fourth beast we're looking at right here, Imperial Rome, pagan Rome at the cross. Okay, now it says, he was dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and beheld there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were the eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. Daniel 7:2-8. That's the second phase of this here fourth beast Daniel saw in vision. This is ecclesiastical Rome, Catholic Church. The little horn right here is the Pope, mouthpiece. This is the Pope speaking for this beast, representing the Catholic Church. So, the Catholic Church here is represented by this horn head. This beast right here is Babylon, the new world order that he's commanding her. Okay? She's the one that has all of the merchandise. She's the one that has all the building materials. She's the one that has all the weapons. And she's the one that's got all the money. So this little horn beast, this little horn speaking great things, the Pope, he's put in charge of it. Okay? Of this beast, Babylon. Okay, now. So, the little horn comes up with the mouth speaking great things. And then you look over here at this here beast right here, the scarlet colored beast. He shows up with this woman riding his back, and she has a mouth speaking great things. There's only two of these beasts. And actually, they're just, this one is just a continuation of this one right here, where this one started. There's only two phases of this beast, the second phase, and third, fourth, and the fifth phase of this beast has a mouth speaking great things on it. Okay? Now notice, the mouth speaking great things is on the head of this beast. But on the mouth speaking great things is on the back of this beast. Okay. My head's a little heavy. I got to drink water. I'm on 3158. If 5 minutes after 2 appear, it's got to be 5 minutes after 3. Well, daylight. All right. Okay, we're going to continue here. Okay, where it says, these four beasts, great beasts, said the angel, are four kings which shall arise out of the earth, Daniel 7:17. Prior unto Daniel's vision of these beasts, Nebuchadnezzar, king of the ancient Babylon, while in a quandary as to the duration of his kingdom, was shown in a dream. A great image composed of the four metals. Its head was of the gold, its breast and arms were of the silver, its thigh of the brass, and its legs of the iron, and its feet of the iron, and mixed with the miry clay. Interpreting the vision, Daniel said unto the king. Now we can go and show you the chart about this. And so now, let's read that again. Okay, now it says that the head was of gold, the breast was of silver, and the brass is your third part, and the fourth part is the iron of the legs. And then the fifth part in our day would be the clay that is commingled with the iron in his feet. Okay. So it said, Daniel said unto the king, thou art this head of gold, and after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior unto thee. That's your Medes and your Persian. And another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over the earth. And a fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of the potter's clay and part of the iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron. For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay, and as the toes of the feet were part of the iron, and part of the clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with the miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with the clay. And in the days of these kings shall the Elohim of the heavens set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left unto other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Daniel 2:38-44. Now it says plainly, the four metals of a great image symbolized as do the four beasts, a succession of the four kings in their respective period. The feet right and left of the iron and clay obviously represent two divisions of the kings, righteous and leftist. And a fifth period, the time in which the Elohim of the heavens shall set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. For the toes of the feet indicate a multiplicity of the kings and the both parties, the righteous and the leftist. Today that would be the Republican and the Democratic Party of our government. That would be your Democrats and your Republicans, senators and congressmen that are our lawmakers. They're the ones that has the power to dictate policy as to how our government, the direction it should go in at all times, including control of the president and putting checks and balances on him. And another symbolism, a ram and a three-phased goat. Daniel saw that the goat in its first phase, that of the great horn, the king of the Greeks, should trample down the ram, Media and Persia, and that after the great horn broke off, Alexander's passing away, that is, four horns came up in his stead. for the kingdom divided into the 4 parts, and that finally from one of the 4 came up a 5th, the exceeding great horn, Rome. See Daniel 8, 9, and 20, 21 to 23. Now this 5th part of this image here is the clay here in the feet. Okay? So, this is when this great horn that was shown in the vision of Alexander, about Alexander being representing the kingdom, that had a great horn that came out between that goat's head. That was the 5th part of those 4 kingdoms that came up that Daniel saw in vision. 4 kingdoms. Okay, now, these 4 kingdoms were Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, Medo-Persia, Darius and Cyrus, Alexander, the 3rd one, Grecia. Okay. Now, the 4th one, Rome. Here's the 2nd phase of Rome. This is the 5th beast. 2nd phase of him. This beast right here then would represent the time period in which these clay shows up in these feet here in the 12th parabolic hour. Okay, 5 and 5. Okay. And another symbolism, a ram and a 3-faced goat. Daniel saw that the goat in its 1st phase, that of the great horn, the king of Grecia, trampled down the ram, Medo-Persia, and that after the great horn broke off, Alexander passing away, 4 horns came up in his stead, for the kingdom divided, and with the kingdom divided into 4 parts, and that finally from one of the 4 came a 5th, the exceeding great horn, Rome. See Daniel 8, 9, 20, 21 to 23. Okay. Some think that the exceeding great horn, the 5th, symbolizes Antiochus, who ruled one of the 4 divisions. Really, this cannot be, because the exceeding great horns coming out of one of the 4 symbolize a 5th kingdom, not one of the 4 expanded. Moreover, the term exceeding great, in contrast to the term great, denotes a greater kingdom than Alexander's, and Antiochus' kingdom in its greatness was not half so great as Alexander's, for the theory is discredited. And now let's go back to the beast again. The Roman Empire is the one that was much greater than Alexander's, and therefore it alone answers to the symbolism. And going south, then east, then toward the pleasant land, the west, Palestine, it necessarily went toward the 4 corners of the compass, which is just what Rome did, and this is what Rome is doing today. She started out right there, going to the 4 corners of the compass, north, south, east, and west. Look here. That beast is still in contention today, right here in the Scarlet Colored Beast in 2013 in the 12th parabolic hour that we're in right now. Okay? So that horn was exceeding great horn that broke off, representing Alexander's death, and the death of this kingdom represented by these leopards, these 4-headed leper, I mean. Okay? Daniel 8:9 says that the exceeding great horn came out of one of the 4 horns of the goat, but does not tell out of which one. Daniel 11:5. However, explains that one of the princes of the kingdom of the south was to have a great dominion. This prince, therefore, is symbolized by the exceeding great horn, and shows that it came from the horn which symbolized the Ptolemaic dynasty, the southern division, and that's your Muslims, your Arabs runs the southern division. The king of the south represents the Arabs that has the headquarters in Egypt today. Here is shown what history fails to chronicle concerning the origin of pagan Rome. the origin, the beginning of pagan Rome. It's right here. That big horn that broke off of this goat. They're showing it at the death of Alexander. Now we see that though in Daniel 2 and 7 the names of the kings are not made known, for they are revealed in Daniel 8, and as Daniel 2 and 8 corroborates Daniel 7, it follows that the four metals of the great image and the four great beasts are symbolical of the four ancient empires, Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome. Here at the cross. Now we see that though in the Daniel 2 and 7 the names of the kings are not made known, but for they are revealed in Daniel 8, and as Daniel 2 and 8 corroborates Daniel 7, it follows that the four metals of the great image and the four great beasts are symbolical of the four ancient empires, Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and pagan Rome, respectively. For the following four maps show that history corroborates prophecy. Feet and toes, right here, being a mixture of iron and clay, forecasts an empire which cannot cleave together. The clay causing it to break into parts and to separate kingdoms, some large and some small, partly strong and partly broken. Obviously, this scripture describes the present family of the kings in their intermarried state, mingled with the seed of men, coming as a result of the crumbling of pagan Rome. Okay, now this is pagan Rome is that fourth beast. Okay, now it says they make a fifth and a multipartite empire. Okay, so now these feet here are a separate multipartite empire from Rome that has crumbled. It has crumbled right here in these feet, here in the toes, in the end time, here in the 12th parabolic hours when this is going to happen. Okay, so now it says the feet and toes of the image being a mixture of iron and clay, and so I told you before in Jeremiah 18:6 it says the clay is the house of Israel. So these kings being commingled with the seed of man, meaning the seed of Israel. Okay? Obviously the scripture describes the present family of kings in their intermarried state, mingled with the seed of man, which is the seed of Israel, coming as a result of the crumbling of the pagan Rome. They make a fifth and multipartite empire. Multi, see? Meaning that they're all over the world and all nations, because that's what the 10 toes represent on this image. The 10 toes represents all nations in the end time, 5 here and 5 there. Okay. So it says, thus this prophetic picture clearly foretells that the rulers of today, unable to cleave one to another, Daniel 2:42-43, are doomed unto continual rupture and hostility among themselves. Now, as I just have pointed out, that these feet are mixed with iron and clay. But notice, the feet actually is clay, and the toes, meaning that this is the house of Israel. So this fifth empire of this image right here is Israel in the last days in charge of this empire. But this little stone over here representing the house of David, coming out of the Adventist Church, bringing the Adventist Church to close in 2002, strikes this image on the feet and destroys this clay and the whole image. And the house of Israel represented by this mountain. So when this stone struck this image on the feet, it destroyed this mountain as well as this image. House of David destroys the Adventist church and the Davidian world. Now, this little stone grows into a mountain and it fills the whole earth. So, this mountain here, being clay, imagine the clay here in his feet, Adventist church here in the end time. So, the clay crumbles when this image is struck on the feet, and so now this little stone, the kingdom now is represented by a solid rock, a stone. Whereas before, the Adventists representing the kingdom was made of clay and mixed with iron, mixed with the Catholic Church. So she gets the identity of clay and iron. But the kingdom represented by a stone, a solid rock. And that's what Yahshua says there in Matthew 16, 19 when he's talking to Peter. He says in verse 17, and Yahshua answered and said unto him, Peter, blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. Okay. And I say also unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church. Okay. And the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. What rock? This rock that David represents today, the house of David, is the rock of truth. See? So he says, upon this rock of truth. But Peter says, thou art Yahshua, the Son of the living Elohim. Without any question, no doubt about it. He said it, so Yahshua gave him a blessing. And then when Peter acknowledged that Yahshua was the Son of the living Elohim, and another definition for Peter, it means a stone. So he says, upon this church, I will build my church upon this rock of truth, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. So the kingdom is coming here. It starts with this stone, out of Mount Hudham. Strikes the image on the feet. Adventist church comes to end. It says so in the prophecy of Zechariah 4:7. Who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel thou shalt become a plain. It's talking about this mountain right here. How did it become a plain? When the house of David, represented by the stone, is hewn out of her and strikes his image on the feet, annihilate this here mountain. Because this is where this image has its residence right here in the Adventist church. Okay? So it's all disappeared. The winds carry this away, what's left of it, as the chaff of the summer threshing floor. This here is carried away by the winds. Once this mountain has been ground down to dust, this clay has dissipated, crumbled, and the winds come and carry it away. Okay? Interesting. All right, now, we're getting right along here with our study. Back to the world yesterday, day, and tomorrow by the BT Holly. This is, we're on page about 19. So it says, why they accepted the fourth beast, two phases, the one with the 10 horns, the other with the 7 horns, along with the little horn, Daniel 7, 7, and 8. Let's go look at that again now. Portrays, says right here. Okay, portrays first pagan Rome, right here at the cross, and second ecclesiastical Rome, right here in 538 AD, the second phase, which is the Catholic Church coming into power now. As a church and state, she's got religion now. Pagan Rome started out with no religion, but she adopted religion from the Christians that came out of the apostolic era. And she got a lot of them to join her here, so she gets the identity as a Christian, and now she passes it on to her second faith. Now the Catholic Church, instead of being a heathen, pagan infidels, now they're identified as Christians. They've got religion. Wow. They believe in that Jesus Christ. Why, they take and make an image out of him and put him on a cross and hang it around their neck. And it reminded them that as long as they can keep him on that cross dead, they don't have to worry about him resurrected and them coming under his blood. So whenever they could capture Yahshua and put him on that cross and keep him there, then they can create a whole new religion and teach that this is the substitute for that rock of truth that was Yahshua told Peter that he's going to build the kingdom upon that rock of truth. And so the Catholic Church said, no you don't, no you don't. We'll hang Yahshua on the cross, we'll keep him there. And then we'll build this here kingdom. But their kingdom is built upon sand. Adventist Church kingdom is built upon sand. Okay, it started out on a solid foundation, prophecy, but it ended up crumbling because it turned into clay and it's built upon the sand. Okay, it says, for these four beasts coincide respectively with the gold, silver, brass, iron, and the great image. These beasts right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, in this prophetic four-beast symbolism, along with this historical fulfillment, we see the passing political events and the consequent changing political status of the world from the time of the ancient Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, 538 BC. Okay. So now it says the time of ancient Babylon on down into the time of Christianized Rome, for the great image, however, brings us down into the present, the time in which we find ourselves ruled by its toe-kings. Okay, but as Daniel's series of the beast delineates but a part of the world's history, another series is necessary to complete it. The only such other such series is in the Revelation. The first symbol is in which the leopard-like beast. Okay, so now here we're in the Revelation part now, and we're graduating down to this leopard-like beast. Okay. Now it says, and I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Here's your 7 heads, 10 horns. And when did he come up out of the sea? He came up out of the sea in 1776 AD. Okay. And upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet was as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads that were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? There was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in the blasphemy against the Elohim, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of the life from the of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith and the blood of Yahshua of the saints. Revelation 13, 1-10. This brings the close of the study. This hour you can contact us at the 11th hour call. And that's number 11. We're now going to close this service with a song entitled, A Step I Take. Each step I take, my Savior goes before me, and with His love in hand, He leads the way. And with each breath, I whisper, I adore Thee. Oh, what joy to walk with Him each day. Each step I take, I know that He will guide me to higher ground. He ever leads me home, until someday the last step will be taken. Each step I take just leads me closer home. At times I feel my faith began to waver, when up ahead I see a chasm wide. Yes, then I turn and look up to my Savior. I am strong when He is by my side. Each step I take, know that He will guide me to higher ground. He ever leads me home, until someday the last step will be taken. Each step I take just leads me closer home. I trust in Yah, no matter come what may, for life eternal is in His hand. He holds a key that opens up the way, that will lead me to the promised land. Each step I take, I know that He will guide me higher ground. He ever leads me home, until someday the last step will be taken. Each step I take just leads me closer